Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Hope everyone's having a great day today. So we're going to be talking about this upcoming winter system that's set to impact the eastern coast. We could see a lot of heavy impacts with that. So we'll get into that here in a moment. Alright guys, so for today's question of the day, I'm wanting to know, what is the worst movie you've ever seen? Leave it down in the comments below and I just might heart your comment. But anyways guys, we are trying to reach 200 subscribers by the end of January, so if you're not already, hit that subscribe button. That'd be greatly appreciated. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get on into it. Alright, so guys, we're taking a look at the radar view in terms of what is currently going on across the nation. So, we actually do have a little bit of precipitation across the Mid-Atlantic into the Tennessee-Ohio Valley here. A little bit of snow showers across those upper elevations towards bits of the, Appalachian Mountains here. So that's where we're seeing a little bit of snow. Now guys, here's where things start to get kind of interesting. You might notice this little band of snow over here, basically across the southern portions here of Canada. This is the system that's set to impact a lot of the country coming up. So this system will track its way through the plains into the Midwest, kind of getting a kick of moisture from the Gulf of Mexico, kind of shooting its way up through the Mid-Atlantic and eventually into the Northeast. So now we're taking it a bit further in terms of your future radar, basically off your NAM 3-kilometer model. So as we do track down in time, we start to see some snow falling, around the late hours here on the 13th. So later on today, we'll start to see some snow falling across bits of North Dakota, track its way through the northern plains into the Midwest here for the 14th, around the midday here, track its way all the way down into the evening hours. It should be anywhere pretty much across the western portion here of the Ohio Valley, track its way down to the south. Now here's where things start to get interesting. So here on the 15th, around those early hours, it's going to be snowing across Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma. Then the snow kind of fades out as it starts to enter a warmer area here, basically across the Gulf of Mexico, as we are seeing some advection going on. A lot of warm and moisture-filled air driving its way up into the southeast in terms of that. So this is as far as the future radar goes. So now we need to take a look at the models in regard to what we might actually see here down the line. So we're picking up where we left off here in the GFS model, also known as your Long Range America model. So like I was saying, we do have some advection going on, basically some warm and moisture-filled air driving its way down from the Gulf of Mexico into the southeast here. Some snow still falling across bits of the Midwest into the southern parts of the Midwest, kind of moving its way towards bits of the Tennessee Valley. So as we do track in through the 16th, we'll start to see some snow kind of form across the Mid-Atlantic view into the bits of the Ohio Valley. Track its way to the northeast here for the 17th, kind of exiting the country here on the 18th. So in regards to accumulations from this model, it is still kind of a bit early for the places here on the eastern shoreboard. So here's where things start to get kind of interesting. So we already do see some snow start to fall across the northern plains here into bits of the Midwest. Honestly, we could see maybe some instances up to a foot near some of these areas here. But for the areas here kind of in this blue shaded color, maybe 3 to 5 according to this model, kind of this light blue shaded color, maybe 1 to 3. So as we do track in, here's where things start to get kind of uncertain because like I said, we are still a few days out. This is for the 16th, still about 3 days out. Like for that, all that moisture to move its way up through bits of the Mid-Atlantic into the Ohio Valley northeast here, we could see a lot more snowfall as we are getting that kick of moisture from the Gulf of Mexico, potentially allowing for higher amounts across bits of the Mid-Atlantic into bits of the Northeast, potentially well over a foot in some of these areas. So in regards to your European model, it is a little bit different in terms of the output from this model. So same thing, same story. We are still getting the snowfalls across bits of the Central Plains, the Northern Plains moves way in through bits of the Midwest here. Kind of still uncertain though in terms of how much we are expected to see across bits of the Mid-Atlantic region. Like I said, this is still several days out, so obviously, depending on if this track shifts east or west, that'll mean a lot more snowfall for some of you guys versus some others. So like I said, this can definitely still change even though it's a few days out. So regardless, compared to what your GFS model was saying, still potentially some instances of over a foot across bits of the Mid-Atlantic into the Northeast here. We are still expecting a decent amount of snow across bits of the upper Midwest, maybe up to maybe 8 to 10 inches or so across some of these areas here. A little bit less here for the Northern Plains as we first thought compared to what we saw in models yesterday, but regardless, we are still expecting a decent amount of snow. So now we're taking a look at the National Weather Service blend of models. Like I said before, it just takes a whole bunch of model outputs, kind of blends them together to kind of give you the best bet in terms of what you actually might expect here down the line. So same story, snow falls across the northern plains into the Midwest here for bits of the 16th, basically starting on the 14th, moving its way through the 15th into the 16th. Then on the 17th, it starts impacting bits of the Ohio Valley into the Mid-Atlantic region, kind of exiting the region here across the Northeast here on the 18th. So in regards to what the blend of model has to say, it kind of shows a similar story between what some of these other models have to say, potentially 8 to 10 inches with locally higher amounts being possible, kind of across the pink shaded area, 3 to 5 across this area here, kind of in blue, and like I said, the light blue, kind of 1 to 3. Now, as we do move into the Mid-Atlantic view, it is a little bit more different in compared to your GFS and your ECMWF model, showing a little bit less snowfall for areas such as Virginia, especially around the local region here in Northern Virginia. It's a little bit less, But like I said, a single shift in the track, a little bit eastward, will bring all this heavy snow eastward with it. So that's what I'm saying. It is still a few days out, so, honestly, accumulations aren't really certain here at all. So across Pacific Northeast, still talking maybe in some instances over a foot of snow being possible. So regardless, we are expecting a lot of snow from the system. We're just going to have to continue giving updates to you guys on this system down the line. Alrighty, so guys, I just want to go ahead and touch base here on the Storm Prediction Center with you guys, because actually the Day 3 outlook here on Saturday, they actually do have a marginal risk for severe weather across the panhandle here in Florida, basically just showing that maybe a few tornadoes as well as some damaging wind gusts is kind of a concern. That's all I kind of wanted to touch in terms of that. That's all the severe weather expecting. I just want to go ahead and mention it in today's video. So guys, let's go and take a look here at the National Weather Service hazards, and let's see what we're dealing with in terms of your current hazards across the nation. Alright, so the winter weather begins. We already do have a lot of winter storm watches, and in fact, kind of across this blue shaded area here, we actually do have some following winter storm warnings that's in effect kind of across this pink shaded area, basically showing that winter weather is expected down the line and potentially heavy impacts is expected. Now, following that, we actually do have a few winter weather advisories in effect across this area here, kind of in purple, showing that some impacts of winter weather is expected, although nothing, severe like, winter storm warnings. So like I was saying, we actually do have some winter storm watches in effect kind of across this blue shaded area. Like I was saying, this basically is just showing that, additional winter storm warnings might be needed down the line. Now, in terms of heavy winds, we actually do have some high wind watches in effect across the area here, basically across western portions here of Kansas, and through bits of western parts of South Dakota, and through bits of northern portions here of Wyoming, showing that down the line, high wind warnings might be needed. And if you guys are in a high wind warning, I recommend bringing in your lawn furniture because you don't want that flying around here outside. So guys, protect your property, and that's all we're saying there. So guys, let's go and take a look at the photo of the day, and let's see what we're dealing with in terms of that. Alright, so guys, for today's photo of the day, this one was actually taken by me last summer. I just decided I want to go ahead and share it with you guys. So this was me taking a photo here of a beautiful cumulonimbus cloud. So that's essentially what we're dealing with for today's photo of the day. Now guys, if you would like the potential in being one of our future videos, I'll leave our Discord down in the description below. You guys can click on it as well as join it and post your photo there for the potential. You actually might make it in one of our future videos. But anyways guys, that's going to wrap it up for today's video. Like I said, if you are new to the channel, consider subscribing. We are trying to reach 200 subscribers by the end of January. But anyways guys, that's going to wrap it up, and I'll catch you all in the next one.